Oh my goodness, guys! I did
So
all
sorry.
that
Well,
talking.
thank you, Dale.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Dale,
saying
so
that.
much.
We gotta
Yes,
start all over
yes,
again.
I will. Thank you
So
all for
sorry.
joining us tonight in the Ladies Lounge on Jetsons Radio DC. I am Jazz,
T.
and we are coming to you all tonight with a very serious topic:
Mm-hmm.
racism, prejudice, and biases. What is it exactly?
The definition, the
Yeah,
difference.
the difference, the definition,
Uh-huh.
how we can better deal with it because it is an ongoing problem. And, even outside of Colin Kaepernick, everything that's going on with him outside of that, the killings, just all that good, well, not good stuff, but just all the stuff that's happening
Right.
that, all the woke and all the consciousness that we have. We definitely want to talk about all that here. And when I say talk about, I mean start a conversation,
Right.
not point fingers about what black people aren't doing for themselves or what we should, our, black on black killings. We're not here for that. We're not here
Right.
for any racial slurs. We're not trying to start a whole nother issue. We're just here to open up a conversation because as T was saying when y'all couldn't hear us, as she was saying that we have children and you all may have children, you all may have younger adults that are starting to experience different things. Maybe not even experience it. Maybe a lot of children, or maybe you raise your kids, see no color, all those things.
Right.
Nobody's judging here.
Right.
But what we do need to do is address an issue that's affecting us all in a major way, whether
Mm-hmm.
it be black women, black men, black period, white men, white women, white period, Indian,
Chinese,
whatever,
Caucasian,
whatever,
what do
whatever.
I Caucasian is white, but anything, whatever
Yes.
your nationality is, but especially focusing on the kids because like we're having this conversation right now, literally sitting in our living room,
Mm-hmm.
well in Jazz living room, having this conversation, and it's so crazy that nowadays our kids growing up, we say to them, how was your day at school? How was your day at camp? Or how was football practice or whatever that they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And we question them. Did anybody pick on you? Right? Did anybody bully you? We have to talk more to our kids that if somebody approached you and said that, why you this dark? Why you this light? And not to say that that wasn't happening back then. But I'm gonna tell you honestly, I don't recall my mother, my father, my grandmother, my aunts ever asking me those questions.
What? What
Like, did
questions?
anybody bully you because of you being black? Did anybody bully you because you light skin or you dark skin or your hair this way? Like I've never had an adult in my childhood. Like I never had an adult ask me that. So here it is when my son or my daughter, when she was growing up, those was the main focus that you pretty much was like, you always ask, how was your day at school? How everything went, but we had to focus more on like, is anybody bullying you? You know, had to worry about if another child was bringing a gun to school because of a hate crime, because of what was going on in their household. I never had that. And I'm not saying that it was, my parents or my aunts and stuff did anything wrong. I'm just saying it wasn't as out there as it is now, is what I'm saying.
Well, and see, on the other hand, I did. Not
See
saying that
now?
I grew up with, I just grew up in a city where black and white, it was very, very prevalent. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was very known. And as far as even with cops and how they treat us differently.
Okay. Cause you Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm Jersey, so
Right,
we
right, right.
didn't we
It was not predominantly black.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Where I
right.
where I grew up at, my city is not predominantly black.
Mhm.
It's a lot of us there, but you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? As far as authority figures, as far as things of that nature, it's mostly white or well, it was at the time when I was growing up. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The black people that was in power really wasn't in power. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Or even if
right,
they
right.
were in power, they were in power to enforce the laws that were given to them by
Mhm.
the white man. And I hate to say it like that, but it was that way. So I
Right.
was taught about black and white. I was taught about cops and crimes and how they treat us different and
Mm.
how the white man got this sentence for doing the same crime as the black man and so all those things I was very privy to.
Mhm.
to be able to grow up and to know how the differences are. So the thing is now that I am an adult and my son is in a whole different environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because here in Maryland, it's a lot of black people. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, it's not to say that it's not a lot of white people, but he just does not have that interaction with them unless it's at school. You know what I'm saying? He does not, he has no interaction with other people outside of his race unless it's at school.
Right.
Classmates and authority figures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When we first moved here, the principal was black. Most of the staff was black. But as time has gone on, that culture has changed. I don't know if they moved on, if they got demoted or whatever. But also, too, now it is being televised. It's all over YouTube. It is very in your face that people that look like us are laying dead in the street. People that look like my son, my black man that I'm raising, laying dead in the street for whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it may be at the hands of another black man, but right now it's cop killings. You know what I'm saying? And it's right now, with this presidency and everything that's rolling out, it's a lot of hate crimes. It's a lot of prejudice going on as far as, whites and blacks and the KKK and, misconceptions about Black Lives Matter. It's just so much going on. And as much as I want to educate him and as much as I try to educate him on everything, I want to make sure that he carries no hate in his heart.
Right.
But I do need him to understand that there has always been a difference in the way we are treated versus the way that other people are treated. White people, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if it's privilege. It's privilege. But it's also the fact that, I need to make sure that he knows that, okay, it's a black cop. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean don't show any less respect. You know what I'm saying? Because people get power hungry, black and white. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
So
exactly, Jazz.
we would like to talk about, we definitely want to let you all know the differences between the three: prejudice, racism, and biases, because we use them sometimes interchangeably. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It's a difference between the three words.
Right.
I remember growing up, we would say this person is prejudiced, meaning they prejudge me because I am a certain way, because my hair is a certain color, because I speak a certain way, because I look a certain way, my clothes are a certain way. You judge me based off the visibility of what you see and how you related me to how the last person or how the last people you interacted with acted, or the outcome of that last business transaction. So you put this label on me before you got a chance to talk to me, to sit down and get to know me. So that's what prejudice is a prejudgment of someone, not only based on color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it can be based off my hair. It can be based off my walk, the fact that I'm female.
Your services, how you do business, or
all that.
how you just, your, like you said, your appearance.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't, being black, you hear a lot of people don't want to do business with black people because they're always looking for a hookup. Or they always doing X, Y, and Z. So a lot of doors are always slammed until you deal with that black person that totally changes your mind about the way that you prejudge them. So that's what prejudice is. It's not that you don't like me because I'm black. It's that you're judging me unfairly because of whatever the case may be. Not only am I black, I'm also a woman.
Right.
I
do, like you said, you do hair.
Yeah.
I do my hair. I say you got nails.
Bright clothes, bright colors, my skirt short.
You wear the makeup, the lipstick.
Whatever.
So it's like, oh yeah, she's that type of girl because this is what she looks like.
Yes.
Forget that, her color, but she fits everything what they say about this person or this race.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know her. I already know what she about.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, back to what Jazz was saying. Even when we said we wanted to talk about this topic, it is Wednesday, WCW Wild Card Wednesday, where we talk about a topic where somebody wanted to discuss something, just overall a certain topic. And Jazz for a minute wanted to talk about racism. And I would say to Jazz, okay, Jazz, how are we going to approach this? Not that it's not in our faces and not that I'm, don't have a clue about it because I definitely do. But at the same time, it was just like I didn't want to come across the audience as being racist or as prejudging or, setting an example for our show. I'm not going to lie. I did have that little bit of fear of doing this. And I'm not saying that I don't see it. I'm not saying that I have been a victim of it. I got kids, I got family members, but it's just like, how are we going to approach this?
Mm-hmm.
So all that played into it. But I'm going to tell you on my end, what really played a factor on my end, even after Jazz brought it to me. Real quick, my fiance, a lot of people don't know him, but for the ones who do, especially me, know he's a guy that he's very argumentative. You can't just tell him the sky's blue and he agreed to it. I know I'm going deep, but I'm just giving an example.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that type of guy you could just say this. So we be at work sometimes and he'll shoot me or me and my coworkers, some of my close friends that we are coworkers, he'll shoot us different type of emails of what we think about this, how's this, just the email thing that we do at work. So I'm gonna read an email that he was feeling some type of way of, that he shared with, I'm not going to say the name, but that he shared with one of his ex-co-workers that used to work at the job with him. And he was just pretty much conversating with the ex-co-worker about how he felt about Colin Kaepernick. Make sure I'm saying his name right, because I'm Colin, because I'm not a big football sports fan.
Or word. My friend will terrible word with no problem.
Colin Kaepernick, right? I'm saying that
It don't even matter.
Whatever.
They understand. I'm not gonna correct you.
Listen, I'm not a big fan, so if I'm offending anybody out there with pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry. But basically, y'all get where I'm coming from. But he sent his ex-co-worker this email because he wanted to get the feedback from another person, white male, about the input about what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to read to y'all real quick just what the email was about. And y'all just give me a little input about how y'all feel. And again, what this whole topic is about. And just give some input, some feedback, things that y'all experience, maybe being in a one-on-one situation where y'all experience racism, prejudice, biases. Your kids came home, and I'm going to give y'all a little story that my daughter just told me the other day at her job. So I'm going to read this real quick. All right, so this is coming from my fiance. This is what he shared to his ex-co-worker. This is what he said. Okay, just give me a little bit of time.
Couple seconds. Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to say the name to the person that he sent it to. It said, "Good morning. What are your thoughts on the fact that NFL players are kneeling for the flag? Let me explain my position on this. Now, I respect that our American flag means different things to different people, and everybody is entitled to his or own feelings about this. As a black man, I'm feeling very, very angry." He said, "I'm feeling very, very angry at the NFL owners and everyone else that is holding things against the players that choose to take the knee during the national anthem. Here's why. We both know racial injustice have been going on since time of time. But with social media, etc., being available now, many things that were hidden are now coming out." Okay, are really coming out. Thank God for that. But as Colin stated earlier, he was not saying that in no way that I'm disrespecting our flag or the military. I have family members that have served or that are serving in the military. But at the end of the anthem, where they choose to end, at it says justice for all. And Colin was simply pointing out black people are being gunned down. No, what he said, but at the end of the anthem, where they chose at the end, it says justice for all.
Right.
And Colin was simply pointing out black people are being gunned down.
Mm-hmm.
Innocent, wait, hold up. Let me say this. This is what he said. Hold up. Not just black people are being gunned down, but innocent black people are being gunned down at the hands of white cops who are supposed to protect us as their duty, and that is a serious injustice. So I'm angry that these NFL owners and the ones that think/feel like them are feeling disrespected by Colin. Many others, we say, many others stance regarding this. Okay, are they not listening to what he's saying? Are they not understanding to what is the problem? This is not justice. If you stand for them doing this, am I missing something here? So what he's saying is pretty much is the people that's against Colin, is he missing something? Like, is he missing what they are saying? So he's trying to figure out, okay, I understand where Colin is coming from, because to me, at the end of the day, you should be able to stand, kneel, or do whatever you want to do. But help me understand, like, this is another male that he's talking to of another race. Help me understand, is there something that I'm missing?
Mm-hmm.
And then he states, he said, this is a touchy subject, but I wanted to talk with someone who doesn't look at me and who doesn't look at me a certain way, and who I respect and value their opinion, even if I don't agree to what you're saying. I also value our friendship. That's another reason why I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
hear your thoughts. If I'm not hearing something that is being said by the people who seem to agree with Colin not standing,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. So, he reached out to another male of another color, wanting to know what, the problem is. And I'm going to tell y'all, when he sent me this email, and I said to him, I honestly did say to him, I said, hey, you sent this email to him? And he said, yeah, I sent it to him. Like, I wanted to know what was his thoughts. This is somebody that I know. This is somebody who I used to work with. We always having conversations. So I wanted to know what was his thoughts of Colin not standing for the flag. Not just the flag, but just the whole racial concept of all that. So it comes into play, like Jazz and I stated, the racism, the prejudice, and the bias. So this type of email comes into play with everything. So I was like, Jazz, I know you wanted to do a topic about racism, and I was kind of having, again, I'm not saying that it's not brought in front of me. I'm not saying that I'm disregarding it, but I was just like, how are we going to bring it about?
Right. So we want to hear from you all based on um, his letter. And based on what's going on, do you understand, like, what do you think about it? Like, how do you feel about the situation with what we're seeing today? Especially if we want to, talk about Kaepernick, especially. Um, do you feel that it's racism? Do you feel that it's prejudice or bias? Because I had a couple different views on that email based on what it could be classified as. Of course,
Right, right.
we definitely know it's prejudice in there. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of was also thinking something else. So let us know what you think, guys. We're happy that you're here and we want your input. You are joining us in the Ladies Lounge on Jetson's
Right.
Radio DC, and we want your feedback. What do you feel about what's going on out here in the world with Colin, with the killings, with the presidency, and all
Mm-hmm.
the racism and everything that we suffered so many years ago? Our ancestors suffered so many years ago, and we're here, and they're still beating us in the face with these things. Like, how do you feel? Has that changed how you interact with certain people? Now do you see certain people for who they really are versus who
Right.
they pose to be? You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about it? How has that changed your daily interaction? How has that changed how you talk to your children? The funny thing is, my kid asked me, and I try not to watch the news. at home.
And I don't have no choice. At least in the mornings, I don't have no choice but to watch
I
news.
try not to
Stay watching it.
I try not to watch the news in the morning. Well, I don't watch the news in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch it till I get to work, and by the time I get to work, I'm frustrated because it's on all day.
Mm-hmm.
So my kid said to me, he said, "Mom, how come cops treat black people so bad?"
Mm.
Now, clearly, that's nothing I discussed with my son, but it made me know that I need to discuss it with my
Right.
son.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't ask why they were treated differently. He didn't ask about white cops either. He said cops, period. Anybody in blue.
Right.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to let him know what was real. Yes, they look like you laying in the street dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, son? That's why I try to enforce that you need to do good. You know what I'm saying? Stay out the way, stay out of trouble, and also do what you can to obey what they're asking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because I don't want him to have the prejudice that all cops are bad.
Mm.
But I also don't want him to be blind to the fact that he is a black man. And regardless of how much we want to ignore the racism or how much we want to ignore prejudice and bias, it's not going away by ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to address it, and we also have to equip our children to know that they have rights as well.
Right.
But also, it's still an authority figure.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
right.
understand that you have rights, but you still need to know that this is an authority figure. But also
Right.
know that all cops are not the same.
Right.
All cops are not power hungry. All cops are not prejudiced. All cops are not out to kill you. But with that being said, again, the flip side of that coin is you're still a black man. You're still a young black man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to conduct yourself accordingly.
Right.
We do have a comment from Randy. He said, "It is an honest letter, but power can never be given up. It's a symbolism of power. The anthem was written by a racist, and that's a fact with racist lyrics." Agreed.
Right. And real quick, I'm just going to read what he replied back. He said, "Good morning, Tay." He said, "The quick answer is, I agree with you. Racism is seldom overt and obvious. It more often comes in subtle ways that provide cover for the offender. And sometimes, unfortunately, the offender does not even know that they are doing it. The white cops, and occasionally it involves black cops. Shooting innocent black men is a real issue, and I agree that that has been going on for a long time, that we as white people tend to hide it." Whew.
Word.
But he said, okay, pretends to hide, okay, tends to hide it beyond perceptions that these things were not happening. And yes, social media has brought this more to light. Even with a clear evidence, some of us don't see the issue, meaning some of us as white people. This is the reason why Colin it has the right to take a stand, or rather take a knee, to help those who don't see or pay attention to what others see. Okay, this is what he's saying that he will recommend for him to do. "I will recommend you to do an internet search for who blames the victim. Follow the logic of the article written last year in the New York Times. The reason I recommend this to you is that it divides people according to character. It is amazing to me who blame the victim in many circumstances. But you will see 45, which we know who 45 is." "But you will see 45 in there and realize so many people who support him are the types who blame the victim."
Imagine that. Imagine that.
The other way I look at it is dominance principle. Some folks just think life is about dominance, and either they are on top or someone else is on top. So feeling they are superior comes naturally to them. The sad thing is that many of these people think that they are Christians." So, I mean, I guess that was another way to end the topic.
Yeah, very much so.
And it just ended with saying, hopefully, we could continue this conversation. So pretty much for me reading that email, I guess I just wanted to put out there that I'm around it. It's in my household because obviously my fiance feels some type of way about what's going on. He comes to me, we talk about it. I feel some type of way. I might not be, the one that's out there, protesting and doing all that, but it doesn't mean that I'm not around it. Jazz is around it. You know what I'm saying?
And the only reason why I can't protest is because the way my contract is set up with the government.
We're discussing it now.
Yeah.
People in your family. I'm pretty sure you have biracial or white your sister, down to your sister, your nieces, your nephew. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at stuff like that. Even to me, with my daughter, I mean, she's Spanish, Puerto Rican, Hispanic. I don't know. People say it's all the same thing, but you might come across that person and say, no, it's not the same thing. And like I said, I wanted to tell you a story. The other day, my my daughter came home. She's working at the bank now. She's doing her thing, and she said it was a black guy that came in the bank. She had her name tag on, and the guy said to her, "How you pronounce your name?" And she said, "Jamaya." And the
How is it spelled?
Jamya. Janya. Some people cannot pronounce names. So, I mean, to each his own. Some people, it may look easy, but some people cannot pronounce it. It was simply Jamaya. Janya. And she said, the guy said to her, y'all black people in these names. And she said she actually felt some type of way. She really said, and that would be a bias because you're judging me off my name. Where you gonna say you black people? Okay, you a black guy and you're saying the same statement. Not to say you cannot feel some type of way about somebody's name, but when you say you black people, you are now
disassociating yourself
with just black people and giving a ghetto, or I guess a name that cannot be said or pronounced. You get what I'm saying?
No.
No, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just saying that was an example of it.
And it just blows me.
It was an example
where
of it.
are you at in your life where you can say you black people, but you black though?
So she said,
that's crazy.
But you know what she said? Her name tag, when she wear her name tag, she said working in a bank when my daughter was when she first started her job, she was at Burger King, then she was at H&M. She's now at a bank, and the bank that she's at is a very closed-in bank. You probably got maybe 4 tellers, the most, at Andrews Credit. We in Waldorf, Charles County, real small. I'm just saying, just the surrounding of the bank is really, really small. She said this is the most that she get asked what her name is and how you pronounce it. And that's because she's now going into this world where I don't know, maybe more people paying attention to her because working at Burger King, maybe H&M, you know what I'm saying? You more retail or people just trying to shop, clothes, get their food real quick.
I think it's just because it's a different environment.
Me,
if she would work closer to the base at the Andrews, that's closer to the base, I don't really see that being an issue.
Right, but I don't know. Maybe is it because more people are dealing with money? I don't know. Maybe they feel some type of way. I'm trusting this girl behind this teller, this black girl, mixed girl, with this name that I can't even pronounce, with my money. You get what I'm saying? That's the stuff that came into my mind after she said what she said. Because if you can tell me that you are like, this is the most that you're having where you're having more of an issue that people are questioning you. Not that they don't have a right to question you, but they just question you about what's your name, you look too young to work here, this and this and that. Maybe they feeling some type of way. Can I trust this girl with my money? You know what I'm saying? That could really be like, what is she doing something funny? prejudging, prejudice.
Of course. I went to Jagger's school thing today. The what is it? The meet and greet at school. And it's when I met his teacher, in my mind, it didn't come out my mouth. I was thinking, girl, how old are you? Because she looks really like she just finished high school. You know what I'm saying?
But you have to be, in my, and she says she gets the same feedback, but you have to be a certain age in order to work in this environment.
Yes, duh. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't say, how old are you? Because to me, that probably would have made her feel uncomfortable. Like I feel like she's incompetent to do her job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a hidden bias because I didn't say it out my mouth. And it's not that I feel any type of way about her, but I was curious about her age. You know what I'm saying? A young white lady, two of them, you know what I'm saying? And they looked so, so young. And I wanted to ask them, like, do you know you dealing with like fifth graders? Like, do you know you and these kids are, old enough to be siblings?
Right.
But that's just how they look. And I didn't want to jump out there and sound crazy because to me, it's a difference between somebody asking Jemiah how to pronounce her name and saying you black people. So now it makes me feel like you've separated yourself from us. So are you prejudiced now? Because now it's you black people. You didn't say, man, we can come up with some names. Or man, we know we know we can be different. We know we can be complicated with the names.
Or you even just to say that was a nice name or whatever. Like when you said you black people, we can be prejudiced ourselves. It's not always just another race. Yeah, maybe a little bit different because we're like, no, you ain't gonna talk about me. You don't understand my race. You don't understand how I grew up. I get it. But we can definitely be prejudiced, biased, and racist of our own race because definitely that statement was being racist, prejudiced, and biased all in one. To me, that's how I look at it. I don't care. I might be wrong, but it's all in one. I
would feel that way about my kid too.
It's all in one.
You know what I'm saying? So and it's crazy. Randy said my interaction won't change. Back to the dealing with cops and stuff. He said my interaction won't change because I'm a man and I understand mental control. And any person that knows there's a history that black cops were never meant to serve nor protect blacks. We must understand the seed and where the tree grew. That's a good comment. But the thing is that sadly, this is what we have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because it's so much, like you said, history. It's so much history and it's covered up with layers and layers and layers and layers and layers to where we don't dig deep enough. We don't see the hidden meaning behind it all. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, before Colin took the knee, I'm sure everybody that's conscious and woke already knew these things, but I'm not
sure he wasn't.
I was not aware. No, he wasn't because it was people that was banned and was stripped of their awards and medals years and years ago for doing the same thing or something similar. But I wouldn't have known that because that did not happen in my generation. And as you know, history, learning through school did not teach me that. I'm sorry, I failed at Black history. I did not know. I didn't fail at it, but I just didn't know. It was just ignorance on my part. But now that he's done that and it's so visible and so prevalent, it makes me want to know more about my history and about the stance that we have to take in order to be heard. Because we seem to have to do more drastic things as Black people to get attention that we need. And it took him to do that at this very moment to shed light on a whole bunch of issues that was covered up with layers and layers of dirt. Because there's nowhere in any American history class where it talks about the real deal. We hear about slavery. We hear about how we were enslaved. We hear about, how we were beaten into submission and all these things. As you grow up, you learn about how our Black men were broken in front of our Black women. You learn about how it's been, written to have the home separated because now women have assumed, it's so much stuff you learn as you grow up. You know what I'm saying? And the sad thing is that it's not being taught to us, so we don't know. So then we go out here in this workforce unknowing. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a different way to enforce the same rules, but they just colored it and made it pretty and threw some flowers on it.
And it's funny you say that because, we say we have rights, like getting pulled over by a cop or, when we see a cop, sometimes we may get nervous, especially if
I know
a
I
cop
do.
pull behind you. You know everything straight. You driving, you ain't doing nothing but heading home. You know your insurance good, you know your license good, whatever. But it's just a nervous feeling. I
Yes.
don't care. It's just really a nervous feeling. And we say as people, we got rights, we got rights. But if you don't know your rights, that's why we get that nervous feeling.
No, and then at the end of the day, it don't even matter if you know your rights because we just watched that man get killed on Facebook Live.
No, I get it. No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. What I'm saying is not that if you don't know your rights, because you can know your rights and still have a fear. Don't get me wrong. But as soon as you see a cop, your first thing is not that's a cop. You get what I'm saying? You still can know your rights and not have a fear. Like, I'm the type of person, and I'm sorry to say, if I'm not standing up and battling to no cop. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that a cop could just rough me up and do all this. I'm just not doing it. To me, it's the same thing like your job. You go to work. If you don't have your own business and you go to work, sometimes you're not battling up to your boss. Why? Because you need your job. At the end of the day, you say, you know what? I know I messed up at work. My boss is getting on me, but I know I might lose my job. So sometimes you suck it up and you say, you know what? I'm calm down and I'm just gonna, maybe next time say something different or do it the right way. At the end of the day, it don't matter. We all do it. You know what I'm saying? You be like, I want to say to my boss, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. Or you want to say to my boss, I don't need this job. But you know you need that job because that person has that authority. I'm not saying kiss ass, excuse my language, but I'm not saying kiss ass, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's authority. You know what you need. I need my life. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to be the one that say, oh, I'm black, you're going to do this. But I'm not going to give you, if I can try my best to not give you a reason to lock me up or to handcuff me or do this, I'm going to try my best to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just say, oh, I have my rights. Oh, you just coming at me because I'm black. I'm going to try to make the situation as easy as I can. I'm going to respect what the officers probably asking me to do. Ma'am, do you know you were speeding? I might lie, say no, I didn't. But I'm not going to say what you stopped me for or what. You want my license registration even though I know I was speeding? I know why you stopped me. I'm going to be nice and calm. I'm going to give you what I need to give you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it is okay what they're doing. Trust me, I'm not at all. But I know sometimes that can be brought on us. And I'm not just saying us as black people. I'm just saying period.
But listen, what's funny is that you're saying that, but guess what? I've seen so many videos where so many white people and a couple other people have been so disrespectful to cops and actually walk.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where we can be, upstanding and have everything in order and say we have a concealed weapon in the car, sir. And you hear me say that verbally and I'm still dead though?
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
And trust me when I say it is wrong. I'm surrounded around it. I have 2 kids. I work in Virginia. I work in Virginia Hospital Center. I'm sorry, but one of the worst states to probably work in. So I'm around it. Trust me when I say I'm around it.
Yeah, guys. So listen, we didn't even get to the definition of what the 3 mean because as I said, sometimes we use them interchangeably and they can be confused. So we're going to read the definition to you and then we're going to go on a little break and let that marinate and let you come back. And we're going to come back, but we hope to read some of your stories or some of your solutions or, some situations that you've encountered dealing with racism, prejudice, or bias. The definition of bias is an unfair personal opinion that influences your judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, prejudging. You're prejudging me based off of your previous interaction. or you're
Right.
prejudging me based off of what I have on. That's being prejudiced. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
not necessarily racist because it could just be my outfit. It may not be the fact that I'm black. It could be the way I pronounce my words. You know what I'm saying? But not the fact that I'm black. So that's
Right.
what bias is. Racism. Dang. Racism.
Right.
That's the word. Is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed at against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. That's what racism is. That's when you find out that your homeboy got off for killing that young kid in the street, your
Right.
cop friend, and they get off and they go into hiding and you don't hear from them again and they get cool points. You know what I'm saying? So you do it, so you can follow, so your race can continue to be superior, so you can continue to make other races feel like they're less than, whether that be black or Latino or,
Right. Right.
whatever. And what's even crazy is you may have some people of other races helping support your cause of superiorness. But whatever. That's what racism is, okay? And then, wait a minute, hold on. I'm missing a paper.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm not missing a paper. I just can't read. Okay. So prejudice is an unreasonable dislike of a particular group of people or things, or a preference for one group of people or things over another. So that's what prejudice is. So, racism and prejudice. Wait a minute. Hold on. I already said prejudice though, right? I said prejudice is prejudging.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just giving a breakdown, and not.
Okay,
And not
I guess
that,
I felt that I was just repeating
no,
myself.
and
Guys.
it is. That's it all.
It's all
together, but it is
a difference.
Yeah,
And that's what I think. That's what I tried to do when I was talking about prejudice. Like
Right.
it's a prejudgment of somebody before you know them,
Mhm.
and racism is inferiority. If that's a word.
Mhm.
If it's not, I made it up.
Right.
So that's what that is. And then the other one is a group. It's more of a group.
Right.
Bias. You don't like a group of people.
Right. Right.
Okay. So hopefully y'all can let that marinate and figure that all out. And like I said, make sure you like, comment, and share this video, guys. Let us know some situations that you dealt with dealing with racism, prejudice, or bias. How you handle it. What you want to see in the future. How do you want your world to be shaped? Let's be real. We all know it can't be all black. We all know it can't be all white. They try, I was about to say they're trying to make it that way, but I'm not going to even say that because that's me putting salt in the wound. How do you think that we can make this thing work better? You know what I'm saying?
Or even how do you talk to your kids? Like put it out there. Like
how do you talk to your children?
When your kids come home and they tell you, this person, this kid said that I'm too dark skinned, my hair ain't straight, or
my hair ain't long enough, or it ain't short enough, or curly enough. Yeah.
Or just whatever it is that plays a part somewhere where you feel like I need to take control of the situation where my child cannot grow up and think they're not beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Or think that they're not going to be nothing because they black.
Worthy. Yeah.
Because they not, because white or whatever. Something is somewhere as parents on an everyday basis that we have to go through it as ourselves as adults, but we know how to handle it because now we are of age. But now we have to teach our kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like at the end of the day, even though it's like that can be my child, that I get that phone call from a school to say that another child stabbed or shot my child because he was black. I cannot imagine that. Like I cannot.
Or that I educated my child and my child decided to take the knee during the national anthem. Or my kid decided not to stand during the Pledge of Allegiance, or whatever the case may be. I would want people to stand behind my son because he made a conscious decision to follow. He has morals and values. Follow his morals and values, what he's been taught and what he knows to be true. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would want somebody to rally behind me and support me and mine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm rocking with my kid regardless. So how do you handle that being in this world coexisting? We want to hear from you. We're gonna go to a short break, 2-3 minutes, maybe 5. But we want to know your opinion. How do you deal with racism, prejudice, and biases? What do you tell your children? What do your children tell you?
Right.
Like, comment, and
Right.
share this video, and we'll see you soon. Geez, I'm gonna get this volume thing together one time in my life. Hi, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. Welcome back. We are in JT Ladies Lounge on Jetsons Radio DC. And that is Tamara. Yes, and I am Jazz. And we are talking about racism, prejudice, and biases. Before we went to commercial, we just gave you guys the meaning of the three and the differences in them. Slight variations, but sometimes it all leads to the same thing.
Mm.
So what I did was I found two articles that I found interesting, and I'm not going to read them all to you because it is a lot. It's not a lot, but I just don't want to read it all to you.
Right.
If you want to, you're more than welcome to look it up yourself. I'll give you the title to it. The first one is called "I Cheered for Floyd Mayweather Because We Were Both Black Men, and I Regret It." That's the title of the first article. I'm going to read what I highlighted because I highlighted some points that I thought were very, very interesting. So, and after that, I want to discuss, where do you feel that these comments fit into? Is it racism? Is it prejudice? Is it bias? Is it all three? You know what I'm saying? And we all find ourselves doing this in some form or fashion.
Right.
Okay. So the article goes into, experiencing different black men that committed certain crimes that they got off, and this guy cheered for them because they got off. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a in your face for all of the crimes that we get committed of that we are wrongly accused of, or we are harshly sentenced. So the black famous men that got off on these crimes, O.J. Simpson was one that he listed in here. He cheered for him, even though probably knowing deep down in his heart that otherwise, he just did it merely off the fact it was a black man walking. Finally,
Right.
So the thing that he said about Floyd Mayweather was, you have Floyd Mayweather in one corner, a convicted serial domestic abuser, and in the other corner, Gregor McConnor, who was criticized for his racial comments in the run-up to the fight, knowingly using that kind of language so promoters would benefit. So basically saying that Conor McGregor used some racial slurs or made some racial comments because that would help promote the fight. But you have Floyd Mayweather here, who's known for, his domestic violence situation. So, you got those two men that were fighting in case you missed the fight.
Okay. So what do you look at that as? That was more under biases, right?
I
know. No. I'm just asking, just that statement. How, like we said,
how you point out the obvious,
right? But we rooting for the person because they're black.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said. Okay. So another thing I highlighted, he said, those eyes of inexperience make it easy to forget about Floyd Mayweather's 7 alleged assault incidents, 4 of which resulted in convictions, including one involving Josie Harris, I think that's how you say it, the mother of his 3 children, or the fact that his oldest son, Karan Mayweather, once called the authorities on him and left behind a haunting affidavit detailing the attack on his mom. And we also overlooked the reality that Mayweather has never shown any real remorse or amends despite being found guilty in the case of Harris. So then it says, the greatest boxer of our time, Floyd Mayweather, versus some part-time racist in Gregor McConnor, who seemingly symbolizes all the shitty KKK many sides, president, tiki torching bullshit that's been happening over the past few months. I've made justifications with OJ despite his horrible and not so black and proud past that's on me. Black women, on the other hand, have spent years warning us about these characters as we've continued to defend Bill Cosby and his rape allegations, or Michael Jackson and his sexual abuse claims, and R. Kelly and his alleged sex crimes. And there's a whole myriad that we can list. But we support these men or these people because they are our color. I mean, that's just like, we can say even white people just support Donald Trump because he's white. He's white, right. And he's not political.
Right. They might not agree with him, but because he's white.
Because they white, they still carry the torch for him. You know what I'm saying? Because their race is superior.
That's deep.
Their race is superior to all other races, not even just the black race. We got the Latino race, we got Mexicans, we got all them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, the Indians, they're superior to everybody. So in order to keep their race superior, they support each other, whether they agree with each other or not.
Right. That's deep, Jazz. I mean, even going into like the Bill Cosby situation. My input on it when I was asked, what do I think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think it's because he was just a black man. I don't want to say because he was just a black man. I just did not want to see that's Bill Cosby. Because, I mean, he's somebody that grew up in my era. I looked at him
That
as,
man was old in your
saying?
era.
Yeah, but I still looked up to him even now. Not like right now at
As
the moment,
Papa
but even
Bill.
a couple of years ago, even now they show the shows. It depends on the cable service that you have. But even now they show the Cosby Show. And I like Bill Cosby. I was never like somebody to follow him and to research him and what he really was about. But I like the Cosby Show. However you look at it, I like the Cosby Show. So I did not want to believe that he did that. I did not want to believe it.
Honestly, I like R. Kelly. I like Michael Jackson. I like everybody that's been accused of these horrendous crimes.
But you don't want to believe it.
Yeah, that's even been found guilty. But of course, that's because, and also, I'm not sure how I would feel if I knew if they were white. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if I would be like, they've been accused of some stuff. But I also know there are some white people that I like that's been accused of, certain things as well.
But that's going back into the case years ago. What's the I'm sorry, y'all. Please excuse me. The football player.
Deflategate?
No, the football player that killed the wife. They went on the beach. They went away for a couple of weeks or a weekend, and he killed her because she found out she was pregnant.
Was it Ray?
No, not him. Not him. It was another one. I'm sorry, y'all. Please trust me. I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna comment when I find out exactly who it is.
She's not gonna go to sleep until she finds it.
The Peterson. The Peterson.
He was a football player?
No, not a football player, but no, he was
Scott Peterson?
Yes.
What was he?
No, maybe not a football player, but I mean,
was he any type of? I don't even know. Was he an athlete?
No, I don't know why I think I was thinking about him, his story and the other story. But Peterson, the guy, he killed his wife because she was pregnant.
She was like 7 months pregnant. But maybe we might be talking about somebody different now. I don't know. No, not right now. Don't find it right now.
But
don't worry, she's gonna find it.
Yes, the Peter Patterson story. Yes, it was the white guy that was. His wife was pregnant, and they went on a vacation on the beach. Not the football guy. Disregard that, because I did say that. Not him. Not Ray. The Ray guy. Not him. It was the Peterson.
And I don't even know if Ray played football, y'all. I'm so horrible.
No, he did. No, Ray did. No, Ray
did.
No, Ray did. I'm talking about the Peterson, and I might, because it was on Snap. It was like all over the story, and he killed his wife because she was pregnant.
I think you're talking about Scott Peterson.
And it might be him. It's probably him.
But he's saying he didn't do it.
It's the same guy, Jazz. I believe it is. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I said disregard that he's a football player.
No, I'm saying I don't even know if he was an athlete. I don't even know if he was he might have just been like a regular dude.
Yes, but I'm saying it made the headlines.
But you might be right. He might have played something.
No, I don't think he did. But what I'm saying is it made the headlines to make it think like he was a known person.
Right.
So no, he was. It's Scott Peterson. It is
Scott. Because I'm trying to figure out maybe I missed something.
No,
because
it's a Scott Peterson story, and they had it. It even the what's the one with the little girl, the little girl that's been in the headlines for years. Yes, I'm just saying even that to this day it's still in headlines.
It's still in headlines, but that wasn't a racial prejudice or bias thing. That was her family.
But what I'm saying is how it was still supportive, regardless of being black, white, or whatever.
Yeah. Saying that you still was supportive of the individual or the family.
It don't necessarily have to be racist, but just saying how that stuff. At the end of the day, who's to say? We don't know if they found who it was. Who's to say it probably was? Yeah, they might be hiding some stuff because they probably really don't want to say who it was. But then when stuff like that happen, what is the first thing we say? And I'm pretty sure we not the
Jump to
first
conclusion
thing
and
we say.
be
Is he
prejudiced.
black? Is he white? Is
Yeah.
she black? Is she white?
Yeah, because
That's
if
just
you
one of the first things that we say.
yeah, because if you think about it, when they had the doggone the killings on what was them? The not I was about to say the Menendez brothers. The black boys that was out here shooting when I first moved down
Who?
here.
Oh yeah. When the guys was in Maryland
Yes,
shooting.
yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
The what was oh Lord, the Beltway snipers.
And we just moved to Maryland, and it was like, is they white? Is they black? And
And automatically we assumed they was white because we was like, we don't do that. We don't do that.
But we all guilty of it.
Yes,
We all
and that's
guilty
a
of it.
bias.
Say
That's a
is they
prejudice
black? Is
because
they
we
white?
prejudged the situation. And then when we found out that it was black, we was, all black people were kind of like, oh, gee, yeah. We didn't even know that was going down in the land like that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that we all have biases, and we all have hidden biases as well. Because I know a lot of times if cops see a gang, a gathering of young black people, it's automatically a gang. So when we're talking about biases and things, the thing that helps us, and this is the second article that I'm reading about, ending racism starts with accepting biases. Like, accept the fact that you automatically prejudge this group of people, but also accept the fact that what you prejudge is not truth. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how this person says that we can eradicate racism, is when you start to stop believing your own biases and prejudices against certain people in certain groups and start interacting with them. That's how you can relieve yourself of racism. So I'm going to read the last paragraph because, as you can see, it's papers and stuff. And it says, we have biases. That is not the problem. The problem is that prejudices too often remain, in the words of opera singer Marian Anderson, like the hair across your cheek. You can't see it, you can't find it with your fingers, but you keep brushing at it because you feel of it's irritating. And I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about it right now, like a hair that's on your cheek, and you steadily pulling at it. You can't see it, but you can just feel it.
Right.
No, prejudice isn't the problem. It is in the thin space between biases and actions where trouble lies. Racism sprouts from the place where people fail to recognize their inherited prejudices as well, prejudices, and instead act on them as if they were true, which is what I just said. You act on your prejudices and your biases as if they are true versus it's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your opinion becomes your reality, and you form and cultivate all these things in your mind. It says, here's a place where we as society need to do our work. Unfortunately, we get tangled up in the color blindness and racialism. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we make bias and moral issues and not a human failing. We don't see race. We don't see our own race as being biased either. And so we do not see racism. And the work of equality goes undone. So, in all, what she is saying is what I just said. When you accept your biases and understand they are your opinion, and your prejudices are your opinion, and they are not indeed fact. They are not concrete. They are stated off your interaction solely with the person, or the person that looks like the person that you last dealt with. That is your opinion. We can eradicate racism, but it has to be a unified effort. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a unified effort. We can't do it alone. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that if everybody start looking at biases and prejudices as, okay, yes, I've had bad interactions with this group of people, or even several groups of people that may remind me of the groups of people that I dealt with, I'm not going to prejudge, and I'm not going to hold this group of people accountable for my last interaction because I've checked myself. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's something that we need to do, not even as a culture, within our own culture, because I do see a lot of prejudice going on within our culture, because like she just said, a black man came to her daughter and said, you black people with these names. That's within. That's prejudice within. You know what
And
I'm saying? So
I mean,
that's something that
I mean, to me, I don't know, Jemiah. Now, I mean, now
I don't know how many simpler ways you can spell
10
it.
years ago,
She don't have no H's in
to
it.
me, Jemiah is a normal name.
Jemiah is a normal
like,
name
I don't
because it's not even spelled funny. Like you don't even have no silent letters, no apostrophes, no commas, no H's.
But he felt that way. But that's why, to me, it will never end. I'm sorry. I pray every day. I wish for better for our world and everything. But this is the reason why it will probably never end. Because here I am, 38. My daughter's 20. And I never even asked her how old he looked, or was he an older or younger guy? I never even
It
asked
shouldn't
that.
even matter.
And it shouldn't, but sometimes you do go back, you want to know the error. You know what I'm saying? You want to know, that sometimes the error do play a difference with how you see things. It does.
The what?
The error. The
Error.
time, your age, your time frame, and all of it.
Yeah.
Yes, all that does play a factor. So I never even asked her that. But I didn't think that Jemiah was
so
a name.
what
Not to
if
say,
you
but
did?
not to say even when she got named that, I thought about that. But I'm just saying that was her first experience about her name.
And you know what? That's what's
And
gonna
it was
have her.
and it was somebody who was black. And
But
when he said y'all black people,
but
that
you know
really
what? That can help her
affected
build, of course, because that can help her build a bias or a prejudice against black people that look a certain way, that are a certain age. That can form her whole opinion on her elders. You see what I'm saying? On her history and her ancestors.
Right.
So it's unfair, but Maya is a very intelligent person, so she's not going to deal with all older black people based on the way that he dealt with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that that was unfair, but that is reality. That is something that she needed to deal with to know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But sadly, it did him no justice to be a black man and not be in support of another black young woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's handling his money. First of all, bro, you might want to get that together.
Right.
Before you come in here, talking about you black people. Hold up, bro, but you just gave me your money.
But that's why I said that might be a way that he may have felt like, can I give her him? I don't know.
And you know what? And maybe when he said that, do he know he probably could have potentially, if Maya wasn't the woman that I know she is,
Right.
he could have potentially made himself a little bit more open for something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like something more wild. So all we're saying is thank y'all for joining us, and we can probably have this. I done turned to my friend. I done forgot y'all was here.
No, because
I'm going like this because
we know this conversation can
go on and
even
on
if you're watching us at JC Ladies Lounge, if you're talking to your girlfriend, your man, your cousin, the news,
yes, this is an ongoing conversation. So make sure you continue to like, comment, and share this video. Make sure you keep the conversation going on how we can work together to make this thing a little bit more tolerable, so we're never going to live in unity, but we at least need to be able to work together as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Black and white, because we all know how it goes. You want to eliminate one race, you want to eliminate one group of people, but you can't get anything done.
Right.
Honestly, you can't, because we're strong. So you can't get it done without us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So suck it up and let's figure out how we can move on. Remove the egos, remove the prejudice, the bias. How can we make this one? So again, like, comment, and share. Make sure you watch us. We're going to upload this to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to our Jetsons Radio DC page. Also, we have a Twitter, TL2 with Jazz and T. Also, Lady Letters, Wildcard Wednesdays, where we accept other people's,
what you want to discuss,
topics,
what you want to talk about.
Yep, even if you want to talk about a situation that happened in your life. Anything. Email us at TL2 with Jazz and T at yahoo.com. Also, make sure you email us for sponsorship opportunities so you can advertise at the bottom. Hold up, y'all. Let me show y'all something, okay?
Here go happy fingers.
Or,
Look at
yes,
that.
happy fingers again. So, look, this is all your advertisement space. See that? Oh, wait.
No,
Wait.
you're
Okay,
right.
that.
No.
One of them. It's
Right.
over there. Oh, over there. Yeah, it's over there. So you see where your flyer can be, where you can advertise your business, where you can advertise your shows, whatever you have going on. Make sure you hit us up for those opportunities as well. If you want to host your own show, we are open to that also. So sponsorship opportunities are here. You can always host your own show. Also, too, make sure you hit me up if you have any health and wellness questions. I am an optimal health and wellness person, coach. I say person. So, again, thank you all for joining us here in JT Ladies Lounge with Jazz and T. We are more than happy that you came. There's where you can advertise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.